Hey y'all, hey, welcome back to my channel. So today this video is going to be all about notary mistakes we all made in the very beginning. So I'll tell you my mistakes so it'll help you not make the same ones, right? Let's get into it. One of the biggest mistakes I would say that I did in the very beginning was forgetting to check everybody's ID. Once you get in, when you go in the beginning, you're nervous. So something simple as that, it can definitely happen. And not just that, but when you're doing wills and power of attorneys, you want to check everybody's ID, not just the person that's signing. Everybody whose name is going on that paper, you need to see their ID. So what I do is I make it a habit, meaning I do it every single appointment so that I won't ever forget it. And that means I ask for the ID in the very beginning. As soon as I walk in, I introduce myself and I ask, can I see everybody's identification? If you do that in the very beginning, you have a better chance of not forgetting. Other than that, once they start talking, they tell you about their kids, their dogs, and the next thing you know, you don't forgot. And you get in a car and you think, did I see everybody's ID? So anyway, that takes the guesswork out of it. So in the very beginning, as soon as you walk in the door, get those IDs from everybody. Another one of a big mistake that I made when I first started was not making sure every document had the correct notarial language. Meaning, I'm just so excited about getting an appointment. They tell me they want to get this paper notarized, and I'm just ready to stamp. All the while, the paper didn't have no notarial language on it. Now, you have to make sure, if nothing else, you know your notary laws. You have that acknowledgement stamp. If you don't have that stamp, you need to get those loose leaf papers so that you can attach it to every document that don't have the language. So, but what I tell you all the time is just go on Amazon or go to Notary and get you that notarial stamp. But a big thing is making sure every document has notarial language. And you know, the number one documents I want to say that don't have notarial language is immigration documents. Because in order for them to get those passports and stuff like that recertified, not like for Jamaica, but like for India, stuff like that, they want to stamp on each one of those documents like a light bill or like a bill or something like that. Like you have to find somewhere on that bill to put that notarial language, draw a line so that person can sign their signature, because what you're notarizing is their signature, right? So make sure all of your documents have notarial language. Another mistake that you can make, being very new, that you have to prepare for ahead of time, is having all the necessary supplies. When you get to that appointment, you need to have all of your supplies. You don't need to have to go back to the car, go back home, or ask them to borrow their supplies. You need to be prepared. So that means not just having one pen, but having at least 5 black pens, at least 5 blue pens. You need to have more than just black. You need black and blue. Depends on what type of document. Some documents call for blue pens. If they need blue pens and you don't have them, then that look crazy. You're the professional, correct? Okay, so have your pens, if you staplers, whatever your supplies are that you're going to have in your notary bag, you need to make sure to always keep it on full. Your ink, you need to always make sure you got ink in that bag somewhere so that if that stamp go dry, you can keep on stamping. You need that ink, you need sanitizer, I have a video going through everything in my notary bag. You can go through that and look at all the different supplies, but you need to be prepared. So when you show up, have everything you need to complete that appointment. So something I learned in the very beginning was having extra copies. That's where I saw somewhere on YouTube where somebody was talking about it, and I kind of adopted that. I went and got me that little accordion folder, put all of my extra documents in there, and that just made life so much easier for me. Because if the document get messed up in the middle or somebody signed in the wrong place, instead of having to worry about correcting it, and just pull out a new one. That's easy, right? So have all of your documents that you're going to need for your appointment. So even though they have it, if it's a normal document, go ahead and have extras. So another mistake I made in the beginning, numerous times, was not asking the necessary questions in the beginning. So you want to make sure you find out if you're doing a will of a power or a power of attorney, you want to make sure that person can speak. They can understand you. They can verify the document that you're asking them to sign. They know what it is. You need to ask that in the very beginning. You need to make sure you ask how many documents. You need to ask how many stamps it is. You need to know all of these key questions. So what you need to do, get your paper and pencil, write down all of your key questions, and you need to ask those before you end that call with that person to make sure you're not making a blank trip. I personally, in the beginning, took an appointment to go to a retirement center to get there to find out the person is in a comatose state. They can't speak. They can't even make eye contact with the paper. So how am I going to do that appointment? Exactly. So I wasted gas. Why? Because I didn't ask the key questions. So after a couple of those, I learned my lesson. So ask the important questions. Another mistake I made in the very beginning was not knowing the documents. So ultimately, it could not be prevented because I just didn't have anywhere to go to see general notary documents. But through trial and error, I figured it out. But for yourself, you don't have to trial and error and figure it out. You can go to my video library and look at the documents. I have tons of documents where I walk you through them one by one and tell you where to put what at. So familiarize yourself with the documents. That is very, very big. Another mistake I've made is pulling up in the driveway. You want to not pull up in those people's driveway. You know why? First, you take a chance of running over plants or anything that they might have in the driveway you might not see, which I've never done. But I have gotten caught. I've done a divorce packet before, and I got there first, so the wife was there. I went in, parked behind her. The husband parked behind me. They start arguing. They talking about who ain't signing what and how they never speaking to each other, and they going back and forth. And I'm like, okay, so evidently this appointment is not gonna happen. So I just want to leave. The husband like, I ain't moving my car. We gonna sign these papers. And the lady like, no, I'm not signing. So now I'm stuck there while they argue it out because nobody wants to move their car. So needless to say, I learned my lesson that day. That was my last time pulling up in somebody's driveway. Okay, in the beginning, another mistake I made was not having competitive prices. So I didn't know what to charge because everybody acted like it was this big secret to tell me what to charge. So I was lowballing it. I was charging $20, $30 for something I should have been charging $50 or $60 for. I didn't know any better. Through trial and error, I figured it out. But once again, I have a video on that, so go look at it. But make sure you have competitive prices. Call around to your competition, which is the other notaries. Find out how much they're charging for a will, power of attorney, VIN verification, whatever your document is. Find out what they're charging. Don't charge as much. Charge a little bit less, but don't go too low. Make sure you familiarize yourself with your state notary laws. It's very, very important. It can mean the difference between you being sued, because even if you don't know it, you're still held accountable. So you need to know it. It's very important. Even if you download it and read over it maybe once or twice or once every 6 months, to just keep yourself up to date with whatever the notary laws is for your state. It's very important, I promise you. All right. The biggest mistake I'll say I made in the very beginning was not advertising to the best of my ability. Meaning, I did Google my business and that was it. I thought that was enough. But after doing more research, going to YouTube University, I learned better. So, business cards, flyers, brochures, Google my business, all over social media, everything, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, Snapchat. Everybody needs to know you're a notary. You need to have a sign in your window at home, a sign on your car. You need to have it on your shirt when you go out the door. Listen, everybody needs to know you're a notary. I want to say thank you for coming by my channel, and I look forward to many, many more videos. And if you got anything out of this, like, share, and subscribe. I'll see you next time. Happy signing.